Alone in the woods, the girl made her way to grandmother's house. She knocked. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
When Red walked to the bed, the grandmother was astonished. My dear, she exclaimed, what big arms you have. They're better to hug you with. My dear, what big eyes you have. They're better to see you with. My dear, what big teeth you have.
Hello everybody, welcome to Ravenswatch. A new roguelite from the makers of Curse of the Dead Gods. One of the roguelites I think is one of the most well-designed roguelites, I guess, of all time, action roguelites. It's a bit like Hades, but I would say a bit tighter game design, you know, not like these, it's not as, I don't know, like, you know, in Hades you can just run around and hit people randomly, and I think Curse of the Dead Gods is a bit more like Souls-like-y, where you have like resource management, you have to be like careful how often you dodge, and everything's very methodical. And this one here is a bit different. It is also very skillful, but it's also a bit more about becoming OP and killing stuff. So it's a little bit like Diablo meets Hades, I guess, and Curse of the Dead Gods, like these three mixed together. And it also has multiplayer for up to 3 people together, and it supposedly works very well. I never played it in co-op, but I did play it in single player when it came out in early access, and I also gave it a shot off stream just a couple days ago and yesterday. So here, we're gonna play as the Snow Queen today. So there are a bunch of characters which you unlock just by playing, so I did unlock a few. There is no reset save file option for this one. I should still check if the game captures before I show you stuff. Yeah, great, it captures. It's kind of hard to start the intro right away, because actually the game has problem that actually the intro starts, not the problem, but it starts right away when you start the game, so it's kind of hard to show. Could you have to set up my stream stuff here on the side. Yeah, so there are like multiple characters that you can unlock. You can also use mouse and keyboard. I will be using gamepad controls without any additional modification. I mean, I've changed all the controls basically, but I'm not going to be using any third-party hardware to do automatic inputs. I think the controls are perfectly fine. There's nothing left to change, I think, in this one for now. Maybe I will play a character that plays differently, because every character is like unique, so I'm just like, you know, I might experiment with the controls a little bit. Okay, so yeah, let's hop right in and play as the Snow Queen, and I'll talk a little bit about the game. You also have different skins for the characters, so you can unlock those. I don't know where I got the skins here from, maybe from pre-ordering or something. I like this one better, but I'm still going to play with the default one first. There's also a lot of lore behind the characters. The game, by the way, I'm going to show you this quickly. The game has a great tutorialization thing here. This is basically what I would have hoped for the U50 games, a little bit stylized mini tutorial, almost like the retro booklets you can get from other games. It's very minimalistic, but it explains the core mechanics of the game very well. I really like this. It's very well done here. Okay, we're gonna play all characters once. I mean, not on stream necessarily, but I'm gonna play all characters once on the base difficulty. So we're gonna play the base difficulty. There are like different difficulty levels, 4, and then you have modifiers to make it even harder. The base difficulty is already quite challenging, so you might wanna just, you know, play that one. I mean, you have to play that one first and beat it, but still, it's a fun difficulty anyway. You don't need to instantly go for the higher one. Yeah, let's go and hop right in. The Snow Queen. And she's a frost mage, yeah. She's called the Snow Queen, but she's a frost mage basically. I mean, you could almost say she's like a Disney princess meets I forgot what I wanted to say. Disney Princess meets generic Frost Mage. And oh yeah, my game is still set as God of War on Twitch. Yeah, I knew I was going to forget something. You have to change so much every single time. That's actually true. No, actually I left it on God of War so you come by and check it out. I'm just kidding. Just to bait you in, Apricorn. No, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, we played a lot of God of War yesterday, but the game has an issue that has not been resolved yet. They did fix the controller issue, like the stick issue yesterday, that they patched yesterday in, so it's already fixed. But they did not fix the VRAM issue. I think the VRAM issue is kind of bad, and I think we're gonna have to hold off until they find a better solution. Yeah, they need an option or something for that. Like the texture pop-in now is fucking bad, and yeah, they need to fix that. Okay, but so it's a roguelite. You can choose upgrades. In this case, you start with a talent. Talents are basically unique things that you can only get here, and they sometimes have quests, like this one, for example, that will upgrade themselves every single time. Get additional damage here. And once you're done with the quest, you get an additional bonus. Yeah, so the quest is usually very, very good. And you... it feels like you often want to pick the quest, yeah. So there are also options in this game. I already did them. So this is what they look like. Minimalistic, but there's render scale. There's like a little bit of stuff, right? But not too much. Then you have like... Here, very nice setup here, actually. Master volume at 100%, not a big deal because everything else is starting at 50%. So it's basically already kind of nice in that way that you have like this option to just make single sliders louder if you want to. Yeah, full customizable controls, very clean UI, still stylized but very, very clean. Like it. Yeah, not much to actually criticize about this one. Yeah, you have a dash, which is on cooldown. You can see the cooldown in next to my HP bar in green in the center of the screen. And then you have, which is kind of cool, you have this mouse cursor here for the minimap that shows you the different objective types. And you have your skills right here. There are quite a lot, actually. So you have your traits. And traits can be passive or active or both. And in this case, it's passive and active, so both. And you can see some abilities apply chill to enemies hit, decreasing their movement speed by 40% for 5 seconds. And active briefly becomes intangible, which is basically invulnerable, iframes basically, and shatter all chilled enemies, dealing 60 damage to them and removing the chilled status. Okay, and shootouts and ice dance that pierce through enemies. Yeah, so chill basically is applied by other abilities, I assume. Yeah, here, for example, and Frost Blast, a large area of frost, dealing 50 damage into the area, afflicting them with chilled through a volley of ice shards here. Okay, ice shards, pretty easy, and you can see these abilities do more damage to chill targets, and you might know this mechanic from, I guess, World of Warcraft, because you also have ice dance on chill targets, so it's kind of, I mean, they didn't call it Frost Nova, but yeah, you can see the inspiration here clearly. And then she has ice skating, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so you're faster, and you also chill enemies when you go over them. Yeah, and you're also invulnerable at the start of the ability. And a thing that is, I think the biggest, I guess, hint I can give you is like one advice that the game I think doesn't tell you is actually that I think Shatter is only with this one, right? Yeah, so I think Shatter is just with this one. Okay, so yeah, one thing the game doesn't tell you, dodge does not have iframes in this game. So you have to physically dodge out of the way, but you have iframes on these abilities, for example, like this one. And yes, you might have played actually Deadlock, and you might know Calvin. And yes, Calvin has also an ice skate, but this game was out before Deadlock. So yeah, this character was in the game before Deadlock existed. It's also not new or anything, but still, just a little aside here. Yeah, so let's try out all of our abilities. The game has an auto attack. Here you can see it's like this Frost Dance, which is like almost a twin stick shooter at this point. You have to note that I can't move with this character. So you could aim with your right stick. You can see this, right? I could aim with my right stick while walking like this, but I can't walk at the same time. So yeah, also auto attacks are like spammed by the game automatically. You don't need a button mash. Every single attack is on hold here. And then we have our other ability, which is this ice thingy, which as far as I remember applies chilled, very important. And then we have ice shards here, this one, which is basically Frost Cone from World of Warcraft. So yeah, which is cool actually, right? I really loved Frost Mage in WoW back then. I mean, still now probably I would still enjoy it. Yeah, so that's basically it. And then you get an ultimate ability later on. So let's talk about the resources. Sorry for doing the in-depth here, but just so you know, because I played so much, I'm not going to discover it with you on stream, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Yeah, so things in the game give you XP, and when you level up, you get an additional trait. And you also have HP down here. This is our quest. Here you can see later all the stuff we get. And you can also ping on the minimap, which is basically useful in multiplayer, but in single player it's obviously useless. This is our money. This is our rerolls for the traits. This is our revives. Those are revives, and this is the key you can get into dungeons, which you can assumably stack. This is our difficulty, the base difficulty, and this you might know from Warcraft 3. This is a day-night cycle. And some heroes have significant differences between day and night gameplay, and also some minions will fall asleep or like transform or something. I don't know exactly too much about the enemies, but I do know that your own character will be affected. Okay, and how do you play the game actually? What's the goal of the game? The goal of the game is basically every level, there are 3 levels total, go for 20 minutes, and then we have to basically defeat the boss of the area. And our goal is to get as strong as possible before that. The different goals on the map, like this one for example, this is a vision tower which will reveal other icons on this map. And there's also some kind of fog of war. And yeah. Ja, dann viel Spaß, Muffin. Yeah, and this is... Ja, gerne, ja. Viel Spaß von mir. Freue mich auf euch. Ja, freue mich auf euch. Tschüss. Und übernachtet, klar? Yeah. Okay, so you have the Master Nightmare. This is the final boss. And then you have different difficulties. You have green, red, which is very difficult, and yellow, which is medium difficulty, which we can't see at the moment. And you're on a timer, right? And what you might do as a beginner is literally just kill everything. My advice is only kill stuff when you have a goal attached to it. For example, this one's being blocked, you can see this, by this enemy here. So I want to kill the enemies while I'm in combat, basically. Yeah, so I want to go here and basically try to kill these guys here. And once they're dead, we're going to be able to easily claim the money. And everything we do here gives us XP. It does not give us money. Money you only get... I hope I'm not wrong about that, actually. Yeah, money you only get by destroying these crystals, or sometimes, I guess, from quests or something, but not from killing enemies, right? Killing these guys here is kind of useless. So we want to go and get to an objective as fast as possible. For example, this one here. And then you want to clear it. Since I'm new to the character, I obviously don't know what good rotations are. So you're going to see me probably suck ass, but that's how it is. Right, you want to chill the enemies as far as I know, and then you also have like the Shatter, which you can do, which will do a lot of stun. Yeah, so I guess the first ability you always want to do is the freeze one, and then you want to follow up with your normal abilities. And you can see the enemies have different things. For example, these explode, and they all have very nicely choreographed attacks. So it's very easy to see where you're gonna get hit, right? So here you want to freeze them, then you maybe want to do an AoE like this, then you want to freeze them again. Then you can do this and you can shatter them, right? It's like really cool. And every character is very unique. So this is like the Frost Mage, but they're definitely melee characters and also twin stick shooter characters. And yeah, it's really, really nice. So here we need a key. We don't have that, so I shouldn't have fought here actually. And one piece of advice I also have is, and I also think the game looks really nice. Like the art style is very, very clean and readable and also pretty. And yeah, and also the dynamic day-night cycle, it's nice for sure. Yeah, here's the key, by the way, we should take that. I don't know how long does the frosted state last for, I should actually look at this. 5 seconds, okay. And now we got our first level up, and you can pick up a talent. You can remove the pause from this here if you don't like it. And multiplayer is forced off, basically, because, I mean, nobody wants to wait, right? But I like the pause in single player, you have more time to think. Here, for example, after using power, 4 waves of ice strike the area and deal 22 damage each. Here I want to quickly say something. This is rare, and this is common. But don't be fooled. A common one is, this is not the rarity of this showing up here. This is also nice that it tells you what is your power witch button on the right side here. This is basically the rarity of the skill that you can increase later. It goes from common, rare, epic, legendary, right? So this is basically just the rarity of the pickup. So if you really like this one better, you can pick this one up and make it even rarer than this one later. So it's kind of, yeah, you shouldn't go by that unless you don't know what you're doing, and then just pick the good one. But this sounds nice, right? It's like a blizzard added to this one. Okay, now we have the key, but the boss is red. So before maybe going for the boss, I do want to get a little bit of additional stuff here. And that's what I'm going to try to... Here you can see now I have the blizzard. It's really cool, right? It's really, really cool actually how transformative these things are. You're going to get some really cool combos. It's really fun to improve your character. They did a fantastic job there, I think. And since I'm really... yeah, not that great at this character, I'm just going to try my best not to instantly die. And the enemies have a stagger bar in gray below them. And once it's full, they get stunned. And elite enemies with shields will drop their shield and take normal damage once you did that. Okay, now we revealed a lot of things in the vicinity here, and I'm gonna go for the other eye. I actually like popping the eyes first if they're close. And there's something else that just showed up, a new one here. I mean, this is Healing Fountain, and this is Nightmare Tumor. These are special because they give you a lot of XP if you complete them, but they also reduce the boss's max HP by 20%. So it's like kind of almost very useful to do because bosses are usually kind of hard. But in late game, I actually think the normal encounters are almost harder, but yeah, they're not easy. So it's definitely something nice. Be aware of that you have the opportunity to make them weaker here, and you get a bunch of XP. Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not good enough at the game, or I didn't play enough of the game to actually tell you what is efficient and not, because you have like a time limit, and since the map is procedurally generated, you do have to make decisions, but I don't know which decisions are good or bad, right? The only thing I notice when playing a lot is ignore all these enemies and only go for them if you have like a tangible target, like for example here looting the money or something, right? Because yes, you get XP, but yes, there are like an infinite amount of enemies too, so it's like kind of pointless. Okay, now we're already low HP, and happen quite quick if you ignore the enemy attack patterns. Yeah, I'm not using Shatter at all. I think Shatter is pretty important, so we should... It's like a finisher. Basically, you freeze the enemy and then you shatter them for bonus damage. And there are a lot of different enemy types which you really have to get to know to actually stand a chance when you want to fight. But you're gonna get to know them pretty quickly. They're gonna kill you a few times and then you're back. And you also get full HP on leveling up, which is very nice. Here you can see I'm using the Shatter a little bit. Every ability is just cooldown based, right? There's no mana for this character or anything. All you do is basically... yeah, you just spam the abilities on cooldown in hopefully good order. Okay, and now we killed the enemies and we can go and get the Raven, which is not possible mid-combat, right? Okay, we revealed even more here, which is really nice. And now I'm thinking about maybe going back. Here, a special can be held to hit up to 2 more times. Special is our Frost Cone. Or we can get 4% crit chance for each shield enemy nearby. It can stack up to 5 times, which is basically 20% crit chance, which I really like, so I'm going to pick this one. And now, the cool thing is, you might be wondering, it's a pretty big map, you're not that fast. Is it annoying to get around in this game? And the answer is no. Also a little point of advice. Every point of interest is like kind of an island. Like in Diablo 3, we have this randomized area, where they non-randomized area, where they just put a set piece in. And I think the game also uses preset layouts for the maps and just puts random stuff in there. And because of the slightly tilted perspective, what is going to end up happening is basically that most of the access points for these areas will be either at the bottom or at the left or right of them. So you should approach them from below. You might be at the start, you might be wondering, yeah, I'm always approaching like this, right? I'm hitting a wall like this. And usually what you want to do is go below, because the game uses the perspective to often do high ground on the top and access at the bottom. So just accessing the game stuff from the bottom is kind of nice. Okay, but I also should not strain my voice too much. I already noticed I'm talking way too much here. But yeah, we're gonna once we explain everything, it's gonna be a bit more chill. Sure. Okay, I always want to get the money. There's like also the trick that you don't want to get too close so you don't aggro enemies if you don't have to, but you do need to loot them afterwards, right? So you have to go in a little bit. Okay, now there is a wish well here, which gives you a random stat drop. Not random, you can pick from it a little bit, but it gives you basically a stat drop. And see, this is pretty nice. You can just go in and stun them like that, and then you can go like this, which is really cool. In our quest at the moment, I don't know how it works actually, so I'm going to look it up quickly. It's kind of smart actually. The cursor here is pretty fast. Once you're here, it's like slow, so you're precise. It's a cool idea. Also, you can play with mouse and keyboard, obviously. And here, shatter 2 enemies with a single trade. Okay, that's actually really easy, and you should also do that. That's just teaching you how to play the game actually, right? Like this. Oh, with a single trade? Wait. Yeah, right, with a single trade. Yeah, so I don't know why that didn't count. Maybe it doesn't count sometimes. I have no idea, actually. Okay, so here you get the random stat, and then the price of the wish well increases by, I think, 50 every single time. So I would do it once, actually, just for fun. Damage is really cool, because it does literally... it's literally pretty simple. It's like, it tells you exactly here what it does. 1 damage is 1% damage for every damage source you have. Same for max HP. Armor is different. You can maybe guess why. Because having 1% damage reduction per armor is fucking OP. At 100 you would literally be unkillable. So it has diminishing returns. It's a bit different. And critical is also a bit different. It literally gives you a critical hit chance. I think it's actually the flat chance you have is 5%. And then it gets increased up to 100. And here, really cool, once you hit above 100, it's going to be converted to critical damage. And really, really clean design here. Really good tooltips. Really huge thumbs up for the devs here. They did a really, really good job here. And by the way, you might be wondering, what do you do with money? You can TP anywhere on the map to the Raven spots whenever you're not in combat. And then you can go shop there if you want to. There's always one shop over there. Sometimes, like you saw, you can also use your money somewhere else. Yeah, but definitely really, really like the game so far from what I've played. I guess it has been already quite a substantial amount of time. Yeah, really, really like the game. And it's also a lot about kiting and grouping enemies. Here you can see, right? I am trying to be a bit more efficient here. And also a bit mindful of the enemy positions and stuff like that. Because I'm really low HP now, right? So, yeah, I want to be careful. And also you can see they drop healing orbs sometimes, which is really important actually. Because healing orbs are definitely a really good source of healing. And they're also one of the things the game will change with higher difficulties, the frequency. Okay, we got a full HP up, and I'm still going to use the fountain because it gives you max HP as well. And... oh yeah, so there's also an upgrade for dash, you dodge basically, and special can be held up. I think like, sure, it's like, you can see this. I don't know if it actually freezes, I should have checked actually. Doesn't tell you, maybe it doesn't, so let's try this out on an enemy. I'm gonna do the red book, which is, red books are very hard to do actually. They're on a timer, and I'm probably not gonna manage to do that. Yeah, you're gonna see it's gonna be pretty tight. You have to kill them within 1 minute, and I think our damage is not high enough to actually do that. So I'm like, yeah, it's pretty stupid actually to do this right now, I think, but I'm still gonna do it because I'm here, and I don't know how strong my character actually is at the moment. Yeah, so I think I reapplied chilled with I actually reapplied chill with the blizzard, which is really strong because that means I can shatter enemies and then just reapply it. Okay, we're gonna make it actually. Cool. And now we're gonna get an additional passive thing. Okay, 12% crit is pretty easy pick for me, honestly. I love crits in games. And everything can crit in the game as far as I'm aware of, so that is kind of nice. Okay, another difficult area. You can see it's the red area basically. So here we can test it actually. Does it shatter? Yeah, it does apply freeze right away again, which is really good actually. So we also didn't test the dodge. Does the dodge apply? Yeah, it also applies freeze. They kind of missed that tooltip, but it's fine, right? Like, I'm not going to be too hard on them for that. And you can see already our character feels pretty powerful. And you can also see I'm moving around a lot, right? I'd rather move around and not take damage too much instead of just like YOLOing in with this character, because it's definitely relying on kiting, right? You don't have a lot of HP, you don't have a direct survivability ability. It's not like you can just face tank. Some characters can face tank a little bit, but only a little bit, right? So, but every character is very skillful. Okay, so here defensive cooldown at 25%, or dash 40 damage. Or this one. I guess just being able to slide a bit more is kind of nice. Okay, now since I'm here, what I'm doing is basically I'm just walking around casually, just like, you know, picking up stuff. It's fine. I think actually a good engage for us is actually doing this one, using this, and then following it like this. I think this is a pretty good combo. Looks pretty solid to me actually. Having like the instant shatter. And then you get like the stun from the blizzard here. Applying frost, can do the frost cone here, very nice. Okay, get the money. Okay, now I'm going for the tumor down there. I always have a goal in mind, right? I never walk around without a goal. Which is really nice. You never feel like you're just doing nothing. You're always doing something. And we have still 7 minutes. There are 3 days, basically, until the nightmare TPs you into his boss arena, basically. Yeah, these are like pretty hard encounters always. They are meant to be challenging because they make the boss weaker, right? So they really wanted to make sure you're gonna get a little bit of challenge out of them. And you can see I'm really trying to kite these guys because they're like pretty annoying when they hit you, so. Yeah, and other enemies can't intervene here. It's just us and these guys here. And this is also really nice to get enemies that are further away from each other. Yeah, this guy I think is a healer as far as I'm aware of, at least. Okay, very nice. And you're also on I don't know, you're not on a time limit for this one. Maybe you were at some point. I can't remember actually. Because it felt, and my brain was like, yeah, you're on a timer for this one, but I guess you're not. Now I'm stun locked, which is really bad actually. Because my controller, shit, my controller can't. The battery I think is empty. Holy shit, they go empty so quickly. But I do play a lot on controller at the moment. Okay, yeah, so the reason why we almost died here is because my controller's battery are empty. So I thought it was stun locked, which is kind of... So there are snares in the game and stuns, but they're very short actually. I mean the ones that are applied to you. It's kind of nice. Oh, by the way, I have a huge criticism with Deadlock actually, since I've been playing quite regularly, but not a ton, right? Obviously, I'm playing a lot of different games on stream every day, but you know, off stream, I do play a little bit of Wolf's Deadlock, and yeah, unfortunately, one of my main criticisms about the game is that I don't like the itemization. I think the itemization core idea is nice, but they really added way too many stun knocks to the game. Like abilities which are just either like complete brain dead counters, like take no damage, which is nice. I don't mind those too much, right? They're defensive. I mean, yes, they can enable some OP combos and stuff like that, but I don't like how much stuff is just focused around stunning, right? Like refresher orb for like double stun abilities. Then there's another item for your normal ability for double stun. Then you have like active stuns, you have active curses. There's so many abilities that basically keep you from playing the game, that in higher elo, what's going to happen every single fucking fight, you're especially when you're like caught out, you're gonna get stun locked until you die. You're not gonna have any chance to fight back. And there's no item that removes stun from your characters, so that's kind of very, very unfortunate. Yeah, talking about stun. Yeah, Deadlock definitely needs, I think, a bit of less OP items when it comes to enabling stun combos, especially stuff that synergizes with the abilities of heroes is kind of broken, to be honest, because you can't get out of stun mostly. Yeah, I think they need more ways to circumvent that. Like, just having a 7 with his double on-click stun, which is completely skillless, right? It removes all the nice... Why do I like Deadlock? Because it has a lot of movement, right? You have like double air dash, dash jump. You have all these abilities, which is really cool. And then you have to aim too to do damage sometimes, right? Some characters do need to aim. But then you have these characters that literally just stun lock you, and then you just get headshot after headshot on a non-moving target, which is skillless, right? You don't need to aim anymore, and you can't move to avoid damage. So it's like removing all the fun part of the game. So I really hope they... Oh, my controller is still inactive. Okay, now I think it works. Okay, so now we use the feather. We have a few because we're on lower difficulty. When you die, you get the respawn, and that's basically something that is shared between players in multiplayer. So everybody has like the same resources basically. And it's kind of important to realize that feathers are more of a lower difficulty. Now here you have a, you know, it's like a gift from the game basically for you, but it's not the way the game is intended to be played on higher difficulties. You're not gonna have a lot of feathers. They're like more of a, so you don't fuck up once, and you know you can die really, really quickly if you get comboed. So it's not like too frustrating, right? But on higher difficulties you don't get a lot of them. Okay, so here we've killed all the enemies, and now you can see 20% less HP of the Master Nightmare here. And here we get the Frost Ray. And it's really, really good. To the ground. I don't know what that means. Maybe I don't know how it works. I think it's just a normal ray, right? There's no... I don't know what to the ground means. But we'll see. Maybe not on target or something. And here on the right side, you can see actually we can buy a feather for 100 gold, which I won't do because we already have a lot. But here, yeah, here basically you could buy one, right? Which is very valuable in higher difficulties. But here we have so many, I don't actually care. We still have 5 minutes, so my goal is basically going to go for the Grimoire and then the optional boss. And here you see the fast travel system. Time is always running, unless you're in a shop or leveling up in single player. In multiplayer, time is also running here. So other players that are out in the world, you don't have to stack, right? I think it's, actually it's really interesting. I think when you are in multiplayer in this game, I could imagine it being extremely skillful to actually decide when to group up and who goes for which task, right? For example, at the start, you could imagine everyone just spreading out and getting all the green stuff. Since XP is shared globally, right, in this game, everybody levels up at the same time. So it could be kind of nice actually to split up and everybody does his own objective. Unless you have to be close to them to get them, I actually don't know. And then later you group for the harder stuff. But okay, here you can always level your talents and you can buy like dreams, which is basically a bit different ways to improve your power. Maybe it's just like, for example, here, respec or heal to 100%, or like you can buy new what do you call them, like magic items or something. And yeah, so, or here, of a random epical magic object that you already own. We have one actually, and there are bonuses for having multiple ones of the same items. I'm just gonna look what this one actually is. Yeah, so we could get this one, right, again. And if we have this 3 times, we would get something else. I guess we could do that for fun. I never saw what happens. You would get an additional bonus. It's unknown because we never had it, right? So I'm literally gonna do this one. Is it epic? Yeah. So this is really funny because we're gonna actually be able to either buy it directly or do it like this. It's kind of funny. Yeah, and now we can buy it again and then we would have the bonus. So maybe now it's a good idea to get enough money to actually buy this, because if we get it, that would be kind of huge. Because I assume having something 3 times must give you a huge power spike. And how are we going to get it? By getting money. Unfortunately, I can't see any money on the map currently. Here you can see like we're in combat, so he doesn't want me to start this, which is kind of annoying actually. Sometimes the leash range is a bit long, but it's on purpose, so you just don't, run through. It's almost always worth going back and killing them instead of waiting. Yeah, here you can already see it. Once you get used to the buttons, obviously it's my first time playing this character in a long time. You have to get used to how everything works, but it feels really, really nice to control. The controls are really, really good. Okay, an additional, oh yeah, sure. Like I said, we want to try to buy the items, so let's just go for the money, which I never do actually, because I don't think it's worth it usually. But I'm definitely going to try to go for it this time. I think there is a lot of money actually, that's my bad. Yeah, you can also use this to glide faster, which is really cool with this character. Yeah, we're going to try to go in here. I'm still in combat. Yeah, that's what I mean, like sometimes you just have to kill them. And this is like a mini dungeon with a boss at the end. And there's also often money in here, which is why I'm going here, to be honest. Yeah, and this is actually really cool. You can just like glide around like this. It's really, really fun. Okay, Mother Ghoul Underground Terror. Yeah, this is the boss basically here. Usually the bosses are not that hard if you're like... Oh my god, what the... Oh, this is how it works? Holy mother... Holy shit, is this broken? What the... Yeah, the ultimates are really strong and they have usually a 60-second cooldown. And they're really cool actually. Okay, here we only got curse stuff here. This is really rough actually. I wonder if we can go negative armor, probably. Power does 100% damage. This sounds actually interesting. Oh, 5% lifesteal sounds also really good. I think like having this one sounds kind of interesting. So they have... Okay, there are usually downsides attached to this. And by the way, you don't have to leave. You can just TP. This is also something you might miss. You don't have to leave by walking. You can literally just TP away. We're still missing a bit of money. There was no money, unfortunately, in this dungeon. Yeah, so my goal now is to get as much money as I can. And usually, honestly, if you just want to get money, the best thing is to look, obviously, for like places where there is money. But also just walking around like this ends up giving you a lot of money usually, because you get, you come by these things and you can just use them. Yeah, so now it should do a fuck ton of damage. And it has a little bit of a longer cooldown, which is perfectly fine actually. I don't mind that at all. Oh shit, there's another one. Yeah, so I'm just gonna try to get the 250 here, which might be pretty tight. We only have 2 minutes. You can see in the bottom right corner. 2 minutes left. Yeah, so all I'm doing is hoping that we're gonna find a chest or something here. We're really close to actually yeah, should not be fighting here. This is a waste of my time. Yeah, here there should be something inside. Oh yeah, luckily it is actually money. It's really good. And when do I use my ultimate? In like situation where you have elite enemies like these big guys, right? Oh my god, this is actually fucking sick. Wait, does it do a ray? Is it like also a ray of damage, or is it just like once? I actually don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, you see, auto attack is not the greatest actually. The abilities for her are definitely better. Very nice. So now we have enough money, and we should instantly go back for the shop because it does take a few seconds to TP. Okay, now we're gonna learn what actually happens when we get 3 of the same by buying this one here. Okay, now we should have an additional ability. Wait, it's not the same actually. Oh, it's special cooldown. Well, I should learn to fucking look at items, icons. I mean, it's pretty similar, but this is really good. Dragonhide, honestly, I like it. It's good. I'm gonna get it. Okay, now you can already hear the game's like it's getting darker. The music is getting ominous. There's like fog coming out of the ground, and that's basically when you know it's about the boss is gonna spawn. So what do you do usually until then? You try not to take too much damage, maybe even heal up. and really farm until the last second, to be honest. Yeah, always, I never stop farming. Yeah, just kill enemies and, you know, just like try to get as much as you can before actually timing. And like, you can also kite enemies, right? You can go like this and try to group them up and then like just like nuke them all at once, which is very efficient for XP farming actually. Yeah, so now I took a little bit of damage, which is obviously suboptimal. And we have 10 seconds left, so I'm just hoping to get a quick kill on someone so we can get an orb or something. We didn't get one, it's okay. Now all players would get TP'd at the same time to this boss. And the boss is not randomized, so unfortunately there's only one boss per area, like one major boss. There definitely is room for more boss variety, for sure I think. That's definitely something I could imagine them improving in the future. Yeah, these tentacles, they just slap you, right? They're like kind of nice. They also often drop healing orbs in this difficulty. And here you want to be careful to avoid the big slams. They do a fuck ton of damage actually. Yeah, I'm ass at killing these guys. Yeah, a little bit of bullet hell stuff here going on. But honestly, since we're pretty tanky, I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, and you really want to figure out which abilities of your character are good at killing these guys. Like, what is a good combo against them, right? Because sometimes you just might be missing a little bit of kill potential if you're not using your abilities properly. For example, here the Blizzard is just so good. It's like literally almost one-shots them. Now he's stunned, right? And that's where you want to use everything you got. For example, this one, your ultimate is mega strong right here. Then you have like your Blizzard, you have like this one, the Shatter, you have like this. Now here the interesting thing is you could go and kill all the tentacles again for the stun. Or when he's low HP, actually you can damage him, right? Like this, you can see this. I'm able to damage him, but usually I feel like it's always safer to go for the tentacles. But I will try to kill him right away to demonstrate that it's actually possible to kill him. He's not immune, he just takes a lot of damage, right? A lot less damage. Yep, and here we got him. Pretty aggressive play here, not dodging anything, just like face tanking a little bit, but it's fine, right? We didn't die. Okay, now you could save and quit here if you want to, collectively. So if you don't have an hour, which is roughly what the game time will be, because it's like 3 times 20 minutes. It's actually very nice. You know how long a run is going to be in this one. It's not random. The downside is it's going to... I mean, you can make it shorter, right? It's never longer than that, actually. That's what I should say, probably. Yeah, it's never longer. And I think the higher difficulties actually make it shorter, even. So you have less time to get strong, which is interesting, actually. Okay, and you get healed to max HP again. And like I said, I'm always... when you start, there's always 1, 2, 3 things getting revealed and the quest. The quest is basically something where you usually collect something, or no, actually not. It's actually something that is longer, so you have multiple things you have to do. That's why it's always revealed first, so you have the time to do it if you want to do it. Yeah, but usually I only do the quest when I'm like next to it and I feel like it's worth it. Because the rewards are good, but quests are pretty long and hard, and if you fail them, you end up getting nothing. Here, for example, this is a prime example of what I meant. There's this huge thing on our left here, actually, this structure, and you want to get to the eye, and you're like, oh shit, there's the wall, is super annoying. But just remember that the axis is usually at the bottom, so you always want to go for the bottom. And while going for the bottom, you're usually going to see if it's side or bottom, right? So it's like really, really easy to get to. Actually, I love playing her. She's one of my favorite characters. I mean, there's so many good characters, actually. I like them all, but she's definitely one of my favorite ones from all those that I've tried. I really like the way she can just like zone enemies easily and AoE kill them. But every single character I've played so far has been fun, right? Like, none of them have not been fun. Everyone's good, is well designed, and yeah. And here, power can be held to store up to 3 levels of charge before being released. Each charge level increases damage by 25%. Okay, that sounds cool.
Exactly what I needed.
And let's go for the next eye again. Like I said, eyes are really good when they're adjacent, so you can basically just know where you want to go from there, and saving you a little bit of time. You can also guess where the objectives are, right? Like, these are usually not going to be at the border, because you have to get in. So you roughly know where they can spawn at some point. So it's like you're not gonna know what's there, but you're gonna know that it's there, right? Basically. Okay, this is again like very. As you can see, I'm not immune to damage, right? I can literally get hit while doing this, so there's no cheating basically by using it. Yeah, we have to be careful here. Now we can charge this one. Oh my god, holy. Yeah, that had a huge AoE now. Yeah, you always want to dodge these guys, they're really strong. And they almost take no damage unless you tumble them over, so it's kind of interesting. Yeah, here a bit unfortunate placement for us, because we have to kill these guys. And the holding it down is definitely worth it. It's really fast, it's not cumbersome at all, and it for sure helps you with not getting shit on. Yeah, and this is basically does damage, right? I'm just making sure. Oh, you also become intangible. I didn't know, actually. That's interesting. Yeah, what is intangible for? I think here at the start, it's really important to know which abilities give you iframes, because sometimes you might be in a situation where you need them, right? Because the dodge, like I said, doesn't do that. Okay, very nice. We have a very good sense of what's going on, and I would always advise to try to go for the easy ones first, because the rewards are usually, yes, they're worse, but they're really quick to do, and it's usually worth trying to go for them first. Yeah, you can see the huge AoE here is helping a ton. Yeah, this is an elite enemy, so it's going to be pretty annoying to kill, actually. Yeah, even considering using my ultimate against him. And also now you have to keep in mind, right, the effects look really cool and everything, but they're a bit minimalistic. And that is actually great, because when you're a multiplayer, the game is not gonna be, it's gonna be super readable, right? It's gonna be omega readable, actually, what's going on, which is very nice, right? They have this huge effect, but they don't overdo it, right? It's like, it's still very readable at the same time. So they did a really good job of keeping the visual clutter minimalistic, which is a real problem in a lot of games, actually. Also in like the Souls games, bosses for example, are like sometimes very visually cluttered these days, making it kind of annoying to fight them because you can't see what's going on as easily. Okay, easy money. You can break the barricade here. Yeah, and I really like this goal-driven approach, right? It's such a unique approach to also the roguelite design. It's not like they just went and said like, yeah, fuck it, we're just gonna copy paste something we like. They actually went out of their way to create a unique experience. Yeah, this guy is so tanky that I'm actually considering using my ultimate, but it would be wasted right against him. Power sends a snowball per second to enemies in its path. Well, sure. Why not? And by the way, I think it's very good to stack on one ability, unless you find two that are really good, right? It's not a bad idea to go for all in on one ability and just like use that as a big... I mean, this is good actually. Yeah, it's not bad to stack on one ability. I think you can get really, really powerful like that, because usually it's like also gives you additional damage on that ability, and then the additional effects also get that damage, so you have like this omega nuke at some point. You just press a button and you see what I mean? It's like, it's so good actually. I never had the snowball. They added so much. This game has been in early access for 1.5 years. And in that time they added 2 biomes out of them 3. And they also added new characters, new abilities per character. They really did a fantastic job. Actually, you can tell the devs are very efficient at creating content for this game. And they also expect to add, as far as I'm aware of, additional content in the future. But I don't think content is an issue anymore. At the start, people were a bit like, yeah, it only has one map. And the problem with one map basically was, you should imagine it, playing this run would never get this strong, right? Because you are down with one run. So the full length was unlocked only quite recently with a 3rd biome and... don't like any of those. I could reroll them, to be fair. Yeah, I don't like them. Just reroll them. sure, 15% damage against bosses is not bad. I think there are also bosses in game, so it's kind of nice. Yeah, why don't we do the quest so I can show you? Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea, and we can also get the money here. And this is like I said, it's not always the case that it's like from the bottom, but it's usually almost never from the top. In this case it is actually, which is kind of cool to see. So there's like, the rule doesn't hold up always, but it's pretty useful in most cases. Yeah, especially when there's high ground, I guess, involved. That's mostly where it actually applies. When it's like low ground like this, it doesn't apply too much, but... Oh yeah, and by the way, there's vulnerable and weakened. Vulnerable is they take 25% more damage, and weakened is they deal 25% less damage. And we do have something that applies vulnerable, which is nice. I actually don't know what it is though. Oh yeah, this one now. Okay, yeah, this is actually really good. So we start off by shattering them, and they take additional damage. Yeah, and you can't, unfortunately, can't access here. You can't access the tutorial page from here, so it's kind of unfortunate, because if you want to look something up, you're gonna have to leave the game basically through the main menu. I don't know why they would remove that. Maybe they didn't want people to. I mean, it is a multiplayer game, right? Also, so they maybe didn't want to have people spend their time mid-game reading stuff, and other people are like alone out there and dying. Because there is random matchmaking too, as far as I'm aware of. So. Not only, yeah, it's not only with pre-made friends, as far as I'm aware of. But actually, I'm not the biggest fan of playing with randoms in these games. I don't know why. It's just like, yeah, friends, sure, right? But with randoms, it's not my cup of tea, personally. I prefer playing alone instead of with randoms. I don't know. It's kind of how I am. Oh, here you can see, pretty cool, right? They have this wave effect here at the borders, like really nice. Yeah, and also this desert having rain in it, you know, it's like being a rainy desert is really cool. Okay, here this is the quest, and we have to go inside, which we're allowed once we kill the enemies here. And you can see the charge ability for sure here, doing a fantastic job of killing most enemies. Yeah, and the side is her defensive ability, and depending on what character you have, it's more or less defensive, right? Some are pretty aggressive. In her case, it's also pretty aggressive, so... Yeah, some might just be literally be blocking or something. And hey Trestos, hope you're doing well. Yeah, and here you can see, right, one ability, like, getting maxed out is really good. I mean, having a lot of good abilities is also nice, right? So it's never bad to split it up, but I feel like it's kind of really good to not split them up too much. But like I said, I maybe played like, the release version I played maybe, I don't know, 3 hours. And the early access version, I don't know, maybe 20 hours. I don't know actually how much. I could look it up, right? I can tell you. But I do leave games running in the background sometimes. So, yeah, I played for a total of 27 hours, which might or might not be the playtime. Because when I idle the game, I guess it would be kind of cool if Steam actually kind of could track tabbing out of games, which is hard when the spotless window mode. And you're doing good, that's great to hear. I'm also doing great. Tons of great games again. Like, it's incredible how many good games are out at the moment. And how many good games I still haven't played too. Like, I don't even know when. I think there will never be again a time in my life where I won't have a new game to play and look forward to. It's like, it's incredible. There was a time when there weren't that many games being made. Where you literally had to wait until a new game you were interested in came out, and that's when you started, I guess, grinding World of Warcraft or like League of Legends. But these days, there's like non-stop good games coming out. And obviously there was also like the problem of affordability when you're younger, right? You don't have that much money, which I don't have now anymore, so... it's more about time, actually, and it's about money. This boss is omega difficult. I feel like it's omega difficult. I'm really bad at it, so... you will see me get completely shit on. Good thing I didn't promise anything else. Yeah, let's use our mega laser here. I think it's only on ground, actually. Yeah, so we're lasering each other. I think he's winning. Yeah, I think he's winning, actually. Yeah, we always want to shatter him first and then get shit on. We have Ravens, feathers, because it's easy mode. But I think he's... Honestly, I think he has too much HP. I don't know how to actually beat this guy. Maybe I'm just ass. I mean, I can take no damage, but why am I rushing him, you might be wondering. I'm rushing him because he's actually... He's actually very, very much insistent on killing the NPC here. Like you can see now, he wants to kill him. And yeah, he's gonna try to kill him, and we don't have an infinite amount of time. So I'm literally trying to kill him as fast as I can. Actually, we are doing a fuck ton of damage though. Like this character seems to be very, very strong when it comes to dealing damage, which is very nice to see actually. So yeah, here let's set it up like this, and then we can do this and that, and hopefully he's dead now. Nice. I never did this quest actually since the game came out, because my other characters just couldn't DPS him down. They took too long, and this guy always died. Yeah, now Sinbad is saved, which gives you an additional reward instead of just getting the XP here. Yeah, I think he has the better laser, and maybe I find people to play Ravenswatch now. I think there is an auto. Isn't there an auto? I mean, maybe I don't know because I never tried. Isn't there like an auto matchmaking system too? And yeah, God of War looks different today. Because they since it broke the last time, we're gonna be postponing God of War until they fix everything. Today they fixed the stick issue, which was the worst issue, but they still have the VRAM loading issue, so yeah. Yeah, the art style is super clean. It's very, very readable and super fun and fluid to play. I think they really have their own style too, because this the first game, Curse of the Dead Gods, also had this type of art style, and they really transitioned it really nicely into making Ravenswatch. This one I think is very nice on higher difficulties where you might get nuked. I feel it's very bad on this difficulty though. I hate all of them, so I'm gonna reroll them. This sounds pretty good actually. Not gonna lie, sounds pretty good. Power, special, and defense have a 10% reduced cooldown for each 20% of health. Ah, this is very interesting actually. I still think this is pretty good though. Yeah, the Swan Cloak is pretty nice. Okay, so here we have a trait sends 4 attacks forward in a cone-shaped burst. Okay, that's interesting because I never aim with it, so it's probably going to be useless. Attacks, lances can curve to seek out targets, and the duration resets whenever they hit an enemy up to 3 times. Oh yeah, this is actually pretty cool. Yeah, I think this is actually pretty cool. But I don't attack a lot, right? That's what I'm thinking. Am I attacking a lot? Let's take this one. I never took it. Ah, huge AoE actually. Okay, now you're done with the quest, and what you can do is basically TP out of here. Don't forget that, so you don't have to walk back, and just go for another objective. Which I don't even know where the fuck I want to go, to be honest. I'm just gonna shop quickly. Oh yeah, Melusine I did play in the early access versions. He's mega fun to play actually. We're probably also going to be seeing her on stream. I'm playing them in sequential order right now, just for fun. So I'm starting in the top left and moving like reading to the bottom right. So we're basically at this character. I'm just doing normal difficulty wins once, and then I'm moving on to the next character at the moment, just to try them out. And then I'm going to go obviously and do the same for the higher difficulties, but just at the moment, just to find the playstyle I want to maybe use on the highest difficulty or something, because I might not do it with all the characters at the moment, because just time constraints, right? As always, I could play the game way more than I can, but we still are playing like 50 other games plus God of War Ragnarok, and literally 50 other games. I mean, UFO 50, right? And yeah, so many games. Gain a copy of a random epic magical object that you already own. I love this one. It's such a good deal, actually. And which one did you upgrade? The quest. Oh, this is so good. 7-second vulnerability is really, really good. This is good when you have a lot of high value ones, right? So you have to be careful not to use this one unless, I mean, for example, what is a good idea, right? Level this one up and level this one up, and now you're gonna get a 240 worth for 200, basically, for sure, right? I mean, maybe not on the abilities you like, so it's maybe ass, but yeah. So now we upgraded a bunch of shit. I didn't look at all the items, which is stupid, but it's fine. And now, unfortunately, I did not pick a TP here, so you should always only TP away when you found a TP actually you want to go to. But yeah, it's my bad for not exploring well here. Yeah, it really, I really want to emphasize this. The game controls really nicely, right? It doesn't only look nice, it feels really, really nice to play. Like, it's running at native I mean, yes, on my PC, 4090, whatever, but it's running at a native 4K at 240 FPS easily, right? It would run with even more. So it's like, I just locked the game with this. Okay, that was pretty risky actually. We almost died for it. I'm just gonna use my ultimate against this big guy and die because they have ranged attacks. I do wonder if the ray also deals damage. I don't know. Yeah, that was really bad actually. Special deals 20% more damage. We almost don't use our special. So I'm gonna reroll this one and hope for example, this one. This one's really good actually. And unfortunately, this is not retroactive, right? You're not gonna get the damage. You need to get this one really soon, which is why it's called Golden Egg, right? It has to hatch. It doesn't just get the bonus from what you had at the moment. So it's really bad at the moment, I think. Yeah, so obviously the other power charge is gonna be huge. And why is it gonna be huge? Because it's gonna be on cooldown after using it once. So it's like basically decreases the cooldown depending on how much you spam it or not. So it's gonna be really, really efficient. As you can see, right, the cooldown's already almost ready from the other time, so it's basically also a lower cooldown depending on how you use the ability. Or just double damage. And like I said, I didn't play too much of the game, so I'm not an expert in anything. I'm just like telling you what I figured out in my short playtime, basically. I think this is a game you can play for many, many hours though, for sure, especially if you have friends you want to play with together. What do I think the game is missing, maybe? Maybe I think it could use some more divergent paths, like more map variety for every level. So what would be optimal in my opinion? What would be nice? Having 2 potential levels randomized per section, so 6 levels, so 2 per the 3 tiers, with individual bosses too. Optimally 2 per biome, but yeah, it's a lot more, right? But it would be cool, but you don't need it, right? I don't think the game needs it, but I think that would really elevate the game to even like next level from a replayability perspective. It has already a ton of replayability, but I think the weakest part of the replayability definitely is the meta targets of beating the same bosses, right? I think the bosses being the same is the most, I guess, repetitive part of the game. Yeah, if they were not the same, that would be great, actually. Yeah, here we also want to use abilities, actually, to trigger him sometimes, because we're not very strong. And they do intend to add more content, but I think the game has already now is very well worth the price, right? Like, it is very well worth the price. I think it's 20 bucks, but I hope I'm not misrepresenting that. It was, I think, 20 in early access. I should check, but whatever it is, it's probably a price accordingly to what I would expect it to be worth. What would I pay for this game? I would pay up to 40 bucks for this game, honestly. Yeah, honestly, that's, I think, is a fair price. But they probably are more at 20, right? So, yeah, the price point is very, very fair in my opinion. Since I don't pay for what do you call, like, I pay for fun, right? I didn't necessarily pay for the perceived content, right? Obviously God of War Ragnarok has, like, quote-unquote more production value, but I don't value that as highly, right? I don't care about that too much. I care about gameplay more than I care about raw production value. Yeah, I think that's also like the fallacy of AAA games is often that they value production value over anything else sometimes, and you just get these shit games that look pretty nice but are ass to play. Wukong. Yeah, so it's kind of unfortunate. Okay, so we should probably look in the direction we want to aim first. It kind of aims nicely though. Pretty cool. Yeah, every single control feels nice in the game, right? It's kind of interesting how they managed to do such a diverse input set while not making the controls completely different for every single character and still feel very nice. They did a really good job there. I really love the snowball. Like it is so good. Yeah, that was really brain dead. Oh yeah. And you also got the additional heal. But don't worry if you think it's a bit too much healing. The higher difficulties got your back right there. It's gonna become way more challenging and you're not gonna be able to spam anything like that there. Yeah, now everything's on cooldown, which is a bit unfortunate. I ran into his attack, which is very bad. But we didn't die, great. You can see the healing is very strong at the moment. Okay, we don't have the key, I'm stupid. I'm a bit on autopilot right now. Oh, there's the key. So we could try for the boss. I think we're strong enough, to be honest. I think our character is very strong. I just think I'm not playing that well, so maybe I'm a bit worried, but let's try it. We have 2 minutes. Is it realistic to beat this dungeon in 2 minutes? I hope so. Might be pure copium though. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore all the ads here and just go for the boss. I don't think we need to kill everyone in here. Right, I guess we don't. Maybe, I don't know, but he's here. It's him. He's a big crab. That was really bad. Yeah, we should have done that once he's stunned, I guess. Yeah, he would already be dead if we actually did a better job at not fucking up. Oh my god, I'm just throwing really hard right there. Yeah, that was really bad. I was so greedy because we're on. I'm worried about the time, but yeah, there was nothing to be worried about. Yeah, I guess skipping the enemies in here is kind of an issue. They could have done some doors that only open when you kill them, because it feels kind of weird to go in a dungeon, not kill the enemies. Because outdoors it kind of makes sense, but indoors I kind of feel like they usually lock you in too in the third area, as you will see. Special is ass. Let's take the curve here. And rerolling I think is really nice actually. At the start you might not care about it, but later you will definitely care about it. I mean, this is really good, honestly. And here you can see, right, this is iframes for the dash, which is interesting. I didn't even know it was in the game. Ooh, that's really bad for us. We should just take this one, honestly. And now, we're like running out of time. And I'm just considering going for the max HP increase, because that's a safe get, and... going up here. Yeah, let's just get this one. Okay, it was safe until they showed up. That might be a bit too tight. Yeah, they can hatch. You can also kill them before they hatch and then they explode, I think, but... Okay, that was a safe get, and now we're just gonna hope for some really nice bonus objective here that doesn't kill us instantly. Yeah, this for example looks pretty nice. I don't mind using my ultimate against this guy. We don't have enough time. Can you cancel it? I actually don't know. Shit, there's still an enemy. Okay, very nice. We got a little bit of money. Nah, we don't need to go for the shop. Wouldn't change too much. We have 6 seconds. Maybe I can get some more XP. Here, a little bit of XP. Okay, the second boss. Bosses are usually designed so you don't have to take a lot of damage. I just suck at them, so don't worry about it. It's not like you have to get hit. Okay, that was kind of bad, actually. What the fuck? What am I doing? Oh, she's actually really good against this boss because she's so fast, right? And you can see our damage is like very, very nice, actually. Yeah, the boss's damage is also very nice. That was really bad of me. I think this boss actually does not get stunned though, which is very interesting. Yeah, now he has like this shield until we kill the smaller enemies. And to this day, I do not know if it's actually worth killing them. I literally don't know. I'm fucked actually. Yeah, I actually don't know if it's worth killing them. I mean, yeah, they have healing stuff. Okay, see, I'm really bad, but it doesn't matter because on lower difficulties you get the revives. It does matter though at some point. Yeah, let's try to kill them actually. I don't even know what happens if you would kill them. So they do drop healing orbs, which makes it kind of valuable. Okay, and then he gets stunned. Okay, and then you can just like nuke him down. Okay, is it worth killing them? I guess it depends on his HP. I guess it would have been fast. It would have been faster just to kill him instantly. But the healing orbs are nice for sure. And now this is chapter 3, Avalon, and it's the final chapter. And they're always like in this sequential order. And their layout, I think, is never randomized. So the core map structure is the same, but the things on the map is randomized. I mean, you want to talk about that maybe? I think actually it would have been nice not to completely randomize that, because I guess it's, you know, it's from a coding. I know from a coding perspective, it's way harder to piece things randomly together than fill in the puzzle pieces of a non-randomized section. That's why Diablo 3 did it, especially in 3D games. In 3D games, it's very hard to make a 3D world look very consistent without actually, when randomizing it, it's kind of hard, right? So that's why they did it. But I do still think having at least, I guess, 2 variations per map would be kind of nice, right? Like just from a, you know, diversity perspective, because you can basically increase the replayability and like the feel of, I guess, randomness a lot by just having 2 variations. Because you can have like the first one is this, the second one is this, right? You can just like literally count it, right? How many new opportunities it's gonna give you. So yeah. Yeah, let's continue here. You start as always with 3 unveiled and the quest, and I'm just gonna go for the one here in the bottom. There's also almost one here in the bottom, so it's like it doesn't even matter what it is actually. Yeah, we could have bought something. And now the enemies, I think in this chapter, are definitely way more deadly than in all the other ones. So you really have to be careful not to get completely shit on sometimes. Especially the elite enemies here are really, really tough and will deal a significant amount of your HP when you run into them. Yeah, you can see, right? I got hit once and I'm already a bit lower here. And the downside is we don't have consistent damage. We just have bursty damage, which is great against, I guess, enemies you can one-shot. But enemies that will survive a combo are harder to kill for us because we just don't, you know, dish out as much consistent damage. Honestly, why not? I mean, there are a few bosses on this map that I mean, there's one and I think I did beat once only. No, I did never beat it actually because of the time limit. Yeah, there are bosses on a timer which are really tight sometimes. I know that there's an enemy, but fuck it. It's okay. Yeah, you can also force it, which is usually not a good idea. And I don't even know if it's worth staying for the smaller ones, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, this wolf here, the big shout, is so strong actually, it's so crazy.
The night cannot last forever.
Oh, but it can. Oh yeah, the exploding apples. I think there are apples, right? Might also be bombs. Okay, so here we can't activate it until we kill these enemies, which is kind of annoying because... I mean, we're low HP too, for sure. It's not a good idea to do this. We should heal up before doing this, but... as I'm very much intent on dying here, because I love dying in video games. Yeah, this is also on the timer, by the way, so... Yeah, I got roasted. So now we have no more ravens left, I think. This is now the... Where can you see the ravens, actually? I don't know where, actually. Yeah, we have one more, so we can die once more. This enemy, by the way, is a piece of shit. I hate him. But he's dead. Yeah, I'm playing terribly, but it's okay. It's the easiest difficulty. We have a chance, right? Yeah, this is... I think getting a bit of armor, because it has diminishing returns, is really good. Just get at least 20 armor is, I guess, what I want to say. Because it still has has a lot of value at the start, right? And then, obviously, the diminishing returns make it a bit less attractive. Yeah, also... Oh, I leashed him. A leash is basically when you walk out of range, and then you can just despawns. To avoid you kiting the entire map, to one point, I guess, and then just killing them in one go. And also to not break the performance of the game, obviously. I do wonder how the netcode is. I can't actually speak about any of those things because I never played the multiplayer, so netcode might be bad or good. I heard the launch day had a bit of a server-sided issue because there were too many people playing, but that, you know, is not necessarily bad, because you might be wondering why a lot of games have launch issues with servers and why that's pretty common and why it's not a bad thing. I'm going to explain it quickly. Usually a game has an exponential decay of player base. So on launch day there will be a lot of people more than a couple of days later, right? Even the second day. So you usually don't want to accommodate, if you can, especially if you don't have the resources for the first initial onset, right? You're just gonna have to live with problems for that time usually, because after day 2 and beyond, usually if you didn't completely fuck up your timing, like your resource management, you're gonna have enough server capacity for the people that will play then, right? So it's not worth actually buying a tons of servers for day 1 and then having to, like, you know, set it up and everything to work and then to remove them after one day. So that's why day 1 is usually just worse. And it's an unavoidable issue unless you have an infinite amount of money and want to invest the additional time, which is usually not required. That's why we still see it with big games, right? The initial onset is always a bit more difficult. As you're playing an ice mage, what kind of characters are in the game, please? I can show them you after the running, but I can also talk about the ones I know. I just have to read this quickly. Ultimate Trigger's trait at its start, and hey, welcome, Mr. Noid. It started in just April. Okay, so we just have to shatter them right away. That's very interesting. Yeah, usually the second upgrade for the ultimate is really, really good. Okay, so what characters are in the game? The first character that is unlocked, for sure, and it might also be the only one I actually don't know, is a rogue at day and a werewolf, like a lycanthrope, by night, with different movesets. And the werewolf has a lot of lifesteal, the rogue has a lot of mobility, and they use a combo point system like World of Warcraft. Actually, you might find some things to be quite similar to how they work in World of Warcraft for some classes. For example, this is pretty much very much inspired by the Frost Mage, and the rogue definitely has some kind of inspiration from obviously World of Warcraft, and also like the transformation is a little bit like Dark Deeds maybe in the mod, like the map. Wait, I never played. Is there actually a real game called Dark Deeds? I'm just thinking that because werewolves and Among Us is so popular, and there was this Walker 3 custom map called Dark Deeds where everybody was role-playing as villagers, but one person by night turned into a werewolf and had to kill the other players, which is basically such a genius idea. It was such a great game. I don't think there was ever a real 3D, like a full game realization of that. Just remembered. Yeah, so that's the first character, the rogue. And the second character is a guy with a flute, like he's like what is it called? Like the guy that calls the rats, basically. He has like rats spawning behind him, which you can then sacrifice to fight enemies, and you can have, I think, by default up to 20 rats following him. And he also is a twin stick shooter character. Basically, he shoots like musical notes. And by day they are they have AoE and are like non-penetrative. By night they become blue and they are like less AoE, but they penetrate enemies. So I guess they have a different form of AoE. Yeah, so he's a bit of a ranged character. He can also do like buff fields on the ground, not buff fields necessarily, like debuff fields on the ground. Yeah, so he plays like a twin stick shooter character. And then the third character is a Viking. As far as I'm aware of, with a worm, like like a worm, like a mini dragon on his shoulders. And here's the base mechanic that he can use the worm to empower any of his abilities. And he's using a two-handed sword, which deals very narrow damage, but a lot of damage in front of him. And he has an ability that's like a barbaric spin, and also a shield block. And what else does he have? Spin shield block. Yeah, and like a slam, like a ground slammy wave thing. And his ultimate is basically his worm flying around and roasting all the enemies. Yeah, he has like the ignite element attached to him. Not everybody has access to all the elements, obviously. So you can like burn enemies for additional damage over time. And yeah, that's basically him. So like a little bit of range, but mostly melee oriented character with a lot of AoE and like burning damage. And then there is another character, but it's kind of hard to explain because I don't remember her exactly because I didn't play her recently. It's like called Meldozine, and she's kind of interesting. She controls a wisp, and all her abilities are basically based on the location of the wisp, which you control, I think, with the right stick or something. And she's very unique and super fun to play. So yeah, there are even more characters that I didn't play yet so far, so I can't talk about them, but I can show you at least the images of them after this run. Yeah, but there is a very, very huge amount of characters. I mean, not a huge, but there's a big amount of characters in the game. And also they're very diverse. So it's like you have a lot of different playstyles. Like from melee to magic to like hybrid stuff to like almost like a completely different control scheme. Yeah, we're gonna get the additional feather here for the revive because I suck ass, and since I'm on autopilot, I'm probably wasting a ton of time while talking, so sorry for not doing objectives at the moment. Yeah. Wait, I'm also gonna read your messages. I'll usually finish my train of thought and then I read again. And thanks, Chris, for the follow. And I'm also multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube. The difference mainly is YouTube has way better visual quality, so if you care about that, YouTube's better. It's like 30k bitrate, AV1 encoded, and Twitch is unfortunately like this. It's like 1080p, 6k, non-AV1. Okay, so when I read messages, you can see in chat, it's from the other chat basically. Or is she a mage that can use multiple different elements? No, she's really a frost mage. Yeah, she's literally a frost mage. Her character is meant to be frost. Yeah, she's designed around all the abilities you see here. And I mean, you might not see it now because we already have it, but at the start you have this ability, only has the inner ring and can't be charged, but then you got the blizzard in addition, the snowball rolling. Yeah, but you can really upgrade the abilities, but they're all frost abilities. That's her thing. She's called the Frost Queen, right? She's not called a mage or something. She's literally the Frost Queen. Yeah. But there definitely are fire-based characters, like the one worm character, he's fire-based. And there might even be a fire mage I don't know about, but yeah. But for sure she's frost. Yeah. Yeah. So she for sure is frost. That's her thing basically. But you can increase, like I would assume that if you, for example, you can. The thing is, when you start a character, this character is level 1 for me. You don't have a lot of choices. Later on, you're gonna have a second ultimate ability. You're gonna have a second tier of ultimate ability upgrade. You're gonna have different traits that will show up and upgrade. So we don't have everything unlocked for her, and she for sure will have more than just like one ability upgrade, right? So you will not only have the mega or strong ability here, but you might have like a Cone of Frost that's super strong or other things, right? So every ability basically is going to be upgradable to be very, very strong, and you can build your run around that. So it's not like you're going to have this ability every single run like that. Unless you really try to roll for it maybe, but that's going to be not very efficient. Yeah, so I think there's still a lot of intra-character variety per run, but definitely the strength is that there are a lot of different characters too. So if you really like different playstyles, that's going to be one that's probably going to match hopefully what you like. And also it's really cool to see how much the abilities evolve, right? Like that they really, really get strong compared to their initial state. Not only from a gameplay perspective, but also visually, right? Like having this blizzard afterward, this huge AoE charge up with a snowball coming out. You know, that's just really nice, actually. I really, really like that. Not a lot of games have that. Usually games have something like 10% more damage or something, which is kind of... also, sometimes there are some things like that in this game for sure, but it's more about actual gameplay stuff, right? For example, here we have the arcing basic attack now that literally goes and chases multiple enemies and all those things. That's really nice. Yeah, and also is, what I like is obviously it being skill-based, right? It's not designed around getting hit permanently and just outstatting enemies, but it's literally about like getting good at the game basically, which is why I'm dying constantly while explaining stuff. But I can guarantee you it's very, very much possible to almost take no damage or no damage in the game if you're good. I mean, literally no damage if you're good, right? Like nothing is designed to be as a guaranteed hit on you. And on higher difficulties, it's for sure going to be very relevant. Like this is the baseline difficulty. Yeah, that's actually not a great idea, but it's okay. Man, there are abilities that are not shatter. Or, I mean, I did spec into 2 abilities only, so that's why 2 of them are... Like, my auto attack is really bad, and also my Cone of Frost is pretty weak. As weird as it may sound, can we play this game offline too? Or do we have to have constant internet connection in order to access to it, please? That's a good question, actually. I would assume it does not force always online. It has co-op modes, but it doesn't have some kind of account locked thing. There is an optional account you can use. But I would assume it works while going offline on Steam. I mean, if you want to, I can try it after this match, actually. Just try to go offline on Steam and see if it works. If it's really important to you, I can check. Because it's not important for me, so I never checked, actually. I mean, I'm literally streaming, right? So I don't have the choice to be offline. I can be offline on Steam, obviously, but not offline. Yeah, I'm really getting shit on by these enemies. And as far as I know, it also runs well on Steam Deck, which is expected. It's highly optimized, right? The game really, really feels like it runs very, very well for what is presented on screen. They really did a good job with optimizing the effects and all those things. Yeah, it's very, very performant. Like Curse of the Dead Gods too, the prior game from these devs, also had a really, really good optimization. And also it says unlocked FPS, so it's also very nice. Netcode, like I said, can't talk about that because I have no idea if it's actually good or not. Yeah, so if you wait after the run, which is in 5 minutes, hopefully, I mean 5 to 7 minutes, I guess, how long it takes to beat the boss, I guess. I can show you if it runs offline. Also, I can show you the other characters, at least visually, and we're going to move on to the next characters to get an idea of the variety maybe in the game a bit more. Yeah, sure. This is always a good deal, I guess. Maybe not, actually, because it's going to upgrade this one. Epic Magical Object. Maybe we're going to get it, actually.
A judicious choice.
Oh, another... Oh, that's actually really cool. These 2 are not permanent, right? The top ones are usually like, you need them. For example, this one, 300 seconds is what, like 6 minutes? So if I would take this one, I would keep it until the end of the game almost. I'm gonna take it, why not, right? And you can respec if you want to. Yeah, sure, let's go with this one too. Oh, wait, lower quality, it did not pick this one. So this one's super RNG, actually. Yeah, it was not a smart idea. Yeah, my goal is basically to be at full HP for the boss. Everything else, I think, doesn't matter too much. Weaken the boss if possible, yeah, sure, but everything else is more of optional. I think you have to kill these guys, actually. Yeah, I'm really starting here very nicely by taking a fuck ton of unnecessary damage. Yeah, just stand in the attacks. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Just dash into everything. Like I said, lowest difficulty, so all the mistakes are not as deadly. But later on, you will be definitely. It can get very, very hard for sure. It's not a. It's not. It's also, this is not an easy game already. I think it's a good difficulty already. The base difficulty, it's fine. It's not like you're gonna face roll it or anything. For sure requires skill. So you might die a couple of times, is what I'm trying to tell you. If you're not like very proficient at these games, or you never played a game like this, it's for sure it's not going to feel easy, right? So don't worry about it if you die a couple of times. It's a roguelite, and it's definitely part of the intended design. Although I do think that the base difficulty can be beaten quite consistently, even with low level characters, because the game's actually is more of a side grade stuff, right? The power level of your character is not gonna get better. So it is a roguelite in a way that you unlock new stuff, but it's not a roguelite that you necessarily unlock better stuff, right? So it's like important to realize that you're not gonna get stronger. There's nothing like 10% more damage, 10% more HP, right? There are no boring skill trees like that. The game is designed to be fully playable from the get-go. So it's beatable on the max difficulty right from the get-go. And when you unlock it, right, you need to beat the game 2 times, 3 times for it, technically. Yeah, so it's definitely not one of those games where you have to die over and over again, half quote-unquote, until the game gets, I guess, realistically beatable from a damage perspective. Yeah, so everything you do in the game is designed around being first tryable, if you're good enough. No matter what you unlocked, right? It might get easier, obviously, if some unlocks are really good or something. The balance is never perfect in games, so I assume there's going to be stronger stuff. But it seems like compared to, for example, let's compare it to Diablo 4 maybe. Mage was so shitty balanced on launch. It was insanely trash. Like, I think what was... I don't remember which skill was so bad, actually. I think Electro was mega strong. Fire was like complete ass or something. It was so terribly balanced. Like also within the skill trees, it was so bad. And this game is really well balanced compared to that. Yeah, just Diablo 4, a great example of bad balance in a, I guess also like action combat top-down perspective game. Obviously this is not Diablo, right? It's not meant to be a hack and slay. And you don't get loot or anything like that. I mean, you get loot, but you know what I mean. It's like not items, and it's not like you're gonna have a sword or something you're gonna pick up and you're gonna be stronger. And also you don't like have a persistent character, right? So it is a roguelite, which is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm just, very nice. I was hoping for one of those, because we already deal 30% additional damage against bosses. Okay, my damage is really bad against this guy. Yeah, so I mean, I could also go right away and challenge him right now. That's also possible. If you feel strong enough for speedrunning or something, you could do that. Usually it's not worth doing that unless you really want to speedrun or something, right? It's for sure is better to get as strong as possible, because the boss does not get stronger over time. Only you do, so... Yeah, I'm trying to do an okay job at killing these guys quickly, so we maybe can get another objective. I really like the ultimates in this one. They really feel powerful and impactful, and not just like small useless abilities that you don't want to use at all. Yeah, this guy is always kind of a pain in the ass, for sure. Yeah, you should not stand in their attacks, for sure. They're like, kind of... Yeah, like this is really bad, right? What I'm doing here, like face tanking, really bad. The thing is, I'm so used to just killing enemies in one shot that I'm bad at actually fighting them normally. Quote unquote normally. That was super close actually and really bad, but it's okay, it's okay. So my goal now basically is to not die to the boss. Because I actually don't have time to heal up again. This boss, I think, has some kind of... I don't fully understand him. He's like light and darkness or something, and you have to kill them at the same time. But I don't really understand their armor system too well. They have some kind of very specific armor system, where like you can't damage one when the other one is low or something, but I actually don't know. And as you can see, there is a bit of bullet helliness going on here, but not to a large degree, right? It's like more like World of Warcraft ground targeting stuff going on. It's not a crazy amount of bullet hell. Yeah, so don't worry if you don't like that mechanic too much. So I'm not using this one. I had to dodge, unfortunately, out of it. I actually don't know how to deal with this enemy at all without taking damage, but it's possible, right? For sure it's possible. Yeah, for example, like this was perfect, right? You still have 2 Raven Feathers, but like I said, this is only something you can rely on lower difficulties. On higher ones, they're going to be very rare. And now they're stunned, which basically is the moment where the game expects you to do a bit of damage to them. And now we have to kill him before the other one respawns. And we did it. Yeah, it was obviously horrible. We died so many times, but it's okay. And the feathers are also shared in multiplayer because you can revive players. So there's like this caveat basically, and I think you have maybe 40 seconds to revive someone or something. Yeah, so here you can see your time, which is usually going to be 60 minutes, which is very predictable unless you do speedrunning. And is it actually 20 times 3 or 18 times 3? I don't know, but roughly 1 hour for one run. Unless you want to go faster, you can see the score and all those things. And then you get the rewards. You can see a new character, for example, Sun Wukong. wait, they're brilliant. Did they actually add Wukong to the game because they wanted to piggyback off Wukong's success? Brilliant, actually. Sun Wukong has joined Ravenswatch, so there's Wukong in the game too. Yeah, Wukong is actually a mythological character. That's why he's also in League of Legends. It's like Chinese lore thing, right? So that's why he's almost everywhere. It's not like an intellectual IP or anything. Yeah, so we joined Ravenswatch, and you can see we unlocked a new rank, and ranks give you access to new abilities, to new stuff. Right here, for example, you get new stuff here. Sometimes you also see this one. This one is a new discovery. That basically means you found it for the first time, because these are not character specific, and new talents are based on the rank of the character, and also you get a story for every character.
In the days before the darkness covered the land, my kingdom was a very different place. The sun shone warm, the hills were verdant, and the fields were fertile. Our people were peaceful and joyous, with few causes for concern and many causes for celebration. I acceded to the throne after the death of my parents, King Kai and Queen Gada. From the moment the mantle of rulership was clasped around my shoulders, I swore to protect the kingdom from harm just as I would protect my own family. For indeed, following my parents' untimely death, I was left in charge of my infant sister, Lily. I ruled the kingdom with a fair and gentle hand, the same way I raised Lily, and both flourished. I used my healing powers to keep illness and evil at bay. Our nation prospered under my benevolent stewardship.
And you're gonna get more story once she reaches rank 4. You can also replay that. It's kind of nice, the visual effect in the bottom left, like when you press play. It's kind of cool. It looks more like actually a power graph than actually an audio graph, because audio graphs are usually a bit more erratic, but that's perfectly fine. You also have an invite code and all those things, actually. But the thing is, what I wanted to show you here quickly, Mr. Noid, if you're still there, I'm just going to do it anyway to show, because I think it's maybe interesting for some other people too. These are the heroes we have currently, and I think they are planning on adding more. This is basically like the werewolf by night and the rogue by day, Scarlet. The Piper is like the rat guy, the princely roguelite character. This is like the worm-based Viking, and this is the Snow Queen we just played. They also have like different visual skins, so we unlocked a few new colors. So like basically color skins. Like they're usually more like re-textures and re-paints, but yeah, repaints would be basically epic skins in Apex Legends or something, right? So it's already really nice that they have that. Then you have Aladdin, which is the next character I'm gonna play. Forgot about him. He's like, he can summon like the ghost from the lamp. He's like I guess like magic-based melee character, I would say. like she's more of a like what do you call maybe a realistic character. She uses like knives and bombs, and he's like more magical oriented, I guess. Yeah, he's really fun actually to play. You'll see. This is Melusine, the one that has like this cool orb she can control. And Geppetto and Sun Wukong I never played. They haven't been in the game when I played. Oh, they're really cool actually. Has like animation. Man, I wish really Wukong was better. The game, like the real game. The game that came out recently and had like some cool traversal with the monkey. It's so unfortunate. I hope Wukong 2 is going to be better. Yeah, and now I'm going to look if it runs offline quickly for you guys. And I do that by going by Steam and then go offline. Now we're offline. Steam Cloud out of date. Wait, yeah, sure, we should go online quickly to fix that one. It does use Steam Cloud. Retry sync. Yes, quickly doing the sync here after the game, obviously, for the cloud save. And then we go offline. Offline on Steam. And now press play. And now you'll know if it works. I assume it does, right? Why wouldn't it? And it does. Here you go. You can play the game completely offline. And there's this optional account you can go into, which obviously is going to be because I'm offline, not available. What's called like My Nakon or something, if you want to. I mean, it's offline, so I don't know what this is. There's like this account thing. I had never played online, so I have no idea. Yeah, it works perfectly fine offline. This is like the cool tutorial section. You get all the nice tutorialization in a quick and concise fashion. Really, really nice.